Oh, all right. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well today. There you are. Happy Monday. Welcome to week 14. I'm getting my coffee ready. I gotta froth my milk. I love frothed milk. Oh man, it's so wonderful. It's actually not milk, it's cream. I'm a half and half kind of dude. To me, that's the way it goes. It's the best. I love frothy whipped cream. I like on days that I'm feeling bougie, like I can afford it, I like to get a latte that is a breve latte. That's how you pronounce it. Where instead of milk, it's half and half. It's the same thing as a latte, but it's half and half. Not and like most places give you like 2% milk. Even if like I'm not feeling like I want to pay the extra money, I will get whole milk because to me whole milk makes it better. The thing about latte makes it so good and frothy is the fat. The fat is what is awesome. We don't ever really have heavy whipping cream at my house because I would explode if we did. But during the holidays and stuff, we always have it. And so Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'm always like, oh, heavy cream in my coffee. Yes, very good. I'm drinking this morning. I'm drinking the decaf blonde. I love a blonde. I mean, I'm married to a blonde, but I also love a blonde coffee. To me, people are like, "Oh my god, it's light," and I'm like, "Dude, do not." People think that like dark coffee is the only cool coffee. It's not. Light coffee has a wonderful flavor to it, and in fact, even though this is decaf, light coffee has more caffeine in it also. So if you are ever needing more, if you actually go for the blonde, which I also like, it being referred to as the blonde roast rather than light, the light roast. My mom always thinks that like she thinks that like that she's like, I'm trying to watch the caffeine, so don't give me a dark coffee. I'm gonna do light. And I'm like, mother, dark coffee actually has less caffeine in it. Okay. It might taste strong, but it's not stronger, technically speaking. So, but what are you gonna do with your moms? Moms they never listen. Doesn't matter how old you get, they don't listen. Okay, here we go. My coffee's about ready, I think. Oh, yes. Oh, it's looking so good. See, I mean, I just like coffee the way it tastes. I don't even need the caffeine. I don't need it. I need it after lunch, but like around like 12:30, I need to reboot. But at 8:30, no, I don't need it. I just like the way it tastes. Okay, so today y'all are getting ready for Thanksgiving break, which is pretty exciting. Okay. There we go. So let's look at our things we're doing. We have come to the end, pretty much. After today, we have one more lecture, and that's it. So this week, I'm going to go over pros and cons of SA2, and I'm going to kind of go over some integration stuff again, which that's just going to come naturally through me talking about SA2. And then this week, you're going to be working on your first draft of the final essay, okay? Next week, we have no lecture. Next week, there is no assigned work. There's no assigned work. You are, if you are a rule follower, like who cares about that? You're right. You're completing your first draft this week. There is no turn in for that. I'm not requiring you to turn that in. Okay. And then next week there is Thanksgiving, which technically like you don't have any homework to do or anything. Okay. And then the week we come back from Thanksgiving, 2 weeks from today, I will do a final lecture about editing your paper, about like final, tips again about your paper. And I'm gonna go in a moment. I'm gonna show you the major things I'm grading for, and I'll go over all of those again during week 16. Okay, but let's just say you finish your essay this week, like by Wednesday, and then you make an appointment with the writing lab for Thursday, and then you fix everything by Friday. You could submit this paper this week and be done with this class. Done with the class. Okay. This is the final assignment. It's the final assignment. That's it. Essay 3. Once you're done with Essay 3, you're done with the class. Some of you might feel like you want to go into Thanksgiving knowing that you don't have to do anything else. Okay. So that's up to you. Now, what I am going to request, it'd be great if somebody could, during this week or Thanksgiving week, maybe email me a draft for me to live edit. That would be great. If someone could email me a draft prior to me recording lecture 16, the final lecture, then that'd be great. I will edit it like in person and essentially tell you, like, everyone what grade they would receive on that paper. Okay. So if you want to do that, that'd be great. It'll be a great learning experience for other people. Also, you will have a chance to be able to fix it. All right. So I'm going to show you where all this is in case you want to get to it early. If you want to, and also so you know what the way that Essay 3 is going to be graded. All right, so if you go to our lessons, go down to week 16. Okay, I don't think there's anything in week 14, is there? There shouldn't be, because I don't have anything for you to do there. And there shouldn't be anything in week 15, because week 15 is Thanksgiving break. Nope, nothing there. So week 16 is it. Go there. Here's the Dropbox for final Essay 3. Okay, this is where you'll submit your final essay. Because it is the last essay where you are supposed to show mastery, every error you make will count as 5 points. Once you commit 8 errors, I'm going to stop reading it, and you'll receive a 60. Okay, so you get 8 errors. Some of you, I don't know if you noticed, but for Essay 2, I took off 2.5 points for every error. 2.5 points. So people could have made 16 errors, up to 16 errors to get a 60. So if you made 10 errors, 12 errors, you were still okay, passing wise. Okay. There is no, I'm not using a rubric. I'm just going to be, and for Essay 3, I'm not writing comments. I'm just highlighting errors. I'm not even going to write like what you did wrong, like I did for Essay 1, Essay 2. I'm just going to read it, because the turnaround for us to turn grades in is like super fast. All right. The due date for this essay, the absolute latest that you can turn it in, is December 3rd. And then like I have to post grades, but I think the 6th. It's super early for my department. All right. So I'm not going to be grading your essay and writing comments or saying what you should have done or how you could have done this better or whatever. Okay. I'm just going to be highlighting. And then when I get down, I'm gonna count how many things I highlighted, and multiply that by 5. And then once I get to 8, I'm done reading it. Because I don't want to give you a grade lower than a 60. So just done reading it. That's not like an insult. That's not me trying to show you disrespect. That's actually showing you more respect. So why, I don't want to have to read, what if like I stopped at 8, but you committed like 5 more errors. And so then like 13 times 5, what is that, like 65? Take out, and then you only make a 45 on the essay. You don't want a 45 on the essay. You want at least a 60. So I'm going to count 8 errors and move on. Okay. Errors that will count towards negative points: improper header, improper heading, Improper spacing between lines. If there is an additional space between every paragraph, that is 5 errors. Improper citing of sources. Every time you do it, not just once, every time you improperly cite your sources. Improper use of italics and quotation marks when citing sources. Hopefully I might show you an example of that today. Improper use or lack of mechanics. Improperly integrated quotes. Lack of sources. Improper works cited page. Oh, I need to fix that. Look at my own damn errors. Sources not listed or unused errors. Let's see. All right. Improper works cited page. Sources not listed or unused sources listed on your works cited page. Improper works cited formatting. Okay. All those are things that I'm going to be counting off for. Every single grammatical error. If your essay has 8 grammatical errors, 8 problems with commas, then that's it. Okay. Right here, improper use or lack of mechanics. If you misuse a semicolon, if you don't put a period, just a run-on sentence, 8. You have 8 errors between formatting and mechanics. All right. So what I highly recommend you doing, we're not doing a peer review. We don't have time for peer review. So once you write your essay, once it's done, click on writing tutoring and MLA. Free writing tutoring. Go here. And oh, I hope that's just for me. Maybe my link is bad. The Learning Success Center is what you need to contact. Okay. So if my link is bad, or this is because I'm a teacher instead of a student, okay, you need to make an appointment with the Learning Success Center at Gwinnett Tech. It's a free service. Your tuition pays the tutors who work there and the teachers who work there. So we say it's free, but it's not really free. You're paying for it. You have a right to use it. Okay. So get some help from a tutor. Okay. Make sure your essay is perfect. Also, again, the first couple of people who send me their essays, during week 16, I will demonstrate literally going through all these things. Okay. And you send me your essay. Listen, if 20 people send me their essays or even 10, I won't be able to do all those. Okay. I'm talking about like maybe 2. Okay. So, if you send me your essay, maybe just on a personal level, I can like look through it quickly and kind of give you some feedback. I'll look through it kind of fast. All right. But regardless, I hope a couple people will send me their papers so I can use them at least for my lecture and go over this stuff again. All right. This is what I'll be covering on week 16. So while this Dropbox is fully open to be submitted as soon as you want. I don't care when. Just know though, once you submit your paper, you cannot unsubmit it. You can't be like, oh, buyers, I realize I have all these errors. Can I have that back? Or if I grade it, and you're like, ooh, I'm not happy with my grade. Can I do it? Can I fix it? No. Once it's done, it's done. Okay. So, which is why, if you write your paper this week and you go to the writing lab and they look over it and you're like 100%, you're just like, look, I'm great. I'm happy. I'm going to wipe my hands clean of this paper. I'm going to submit it. Cool. Then you're done with the class. Okay. All right. Let's look at some examples of Essay 2. Here is an A paper for Essay 2. An A paper. All right. We have the proper header. Look, if I click here just one time, I can't go up there. See, I click here, whatever you call that appears. This is correctly in the header. I have to double click to get there. And it says header right there. Header. And the page numbers are inserted correctly. I know that because when I go down here, it says 2. Some people are still not inserting their page numbers correctly. What they're doing is this. They're typing their name, and then they're putting 1, and they click out. That doesn't work because look, when I scroll down to page 2, it says, oh, Loth 1. Loth 1. Loth 1. You cannot just manually type in the page number. You have to delete that. You have to go to insert. Go to page number. Oh, I just added. Oh, right. Page number. Top of page. And then go down to the third one on the far right-hand side. Okay. That's what you got to do. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's good. Let's check the formatting. I'm gonna select all. I'm gonna go to paragraph. Okay, 0, 0, great. 0 before, 0 after. This says line spacing is mixed. Let's click double. Nothing changed, so it's good. This is good. Okay. Larry Loth, my name, the class, due date. Choose your experience. Okay. Formatting. It doesn't have to be justified, but it looks so much better that it is. All right. Great. Let's look at some integration of quotes, the use of quotation marks. All right, look, we have the name of a game, The Last of Us. Good. It's in italics, as it should be, because as I've already gone over before, titles of books, films, movies, publications like the New York Times, all those need to be in italics. Okay, here we have Laraz Margaret supports this concept in her article, Why Less is More Often. Look, articles are in quotation marks, and we have capital letters. When she asserts, and then we have a comma. Having too many options cause a sort of paralysis in the decision-making process, which leads to avoidance behavior, essentially choosing to do nothing at all. Okay, so that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. So we have her. Replayability. Okay. All right. All right. Here we have a quote. Of course, the feeling will never be the exact same as the first playthrough, but it is still worth it. Okay. Then we have a colon. So this is great. Look, this quote is not integrated completely through words here, but this colon, you can introduce a quote with a complete sentence and then a colon. That's totally fine. Okay. Because a colon does not separate two independent sentences. It separates a dependent, it separates an independent sentence with a dependent sentence. Okay. This would be incorrect if it was a semicolon. That's incorrect because semicolons separate two independent sentences. Puts them together. Okay. This would be incorrect if it was a comma. A comma can only be used with a conjunction. All right. So this use of colon is great. Quotation mark. And then we have Namiko. Now we don't need this comma here. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Again, so then we have two sources. We have Namiko, and then we have this lady, Margalt. Go down to the works cited page. It's on its own page, and we have the two sources. Two sources were quoted, and two sources are on the works cited page. They're double spaced. They have the proper hanging indent. The first line is a full line, and then the subsequent lines are indented. First line is all the way to the left and to the right, and the subsequent line is indented. It's in alphabetical order. M comes before N. Perfect. So this is an A paper. Okay, A paper. All right, let's look at SA2 with some problems. Okay. All right, first off, you can already tell spacing. Okay. Look, all that spacing between lines. See the space right here between paragraphs? That is an error. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 errors right there, plus the header, 6, 7, 8. So already this paper fails. Paper fails. Okay. If this was SA3, this paper fails. Simply because, look at this. 0.8 double. This needs to be 0. 0, 0 double. Okay, now it's correct. Before it wasn't. All right. Let's say like this was 0.8. That didn't do anything. And then for some reason, this was like, okay. And then for some reason, this right here was like single. That happens sometimes. Okay. All right. So what I always do is I do select all. I go here. If these are blank, that means there's inconsistencies. There's inconsistencies. All right. So that needs to be fixed. Okay. All right. So this is good. In New York Times. New York Times should be like that. Charlotte Lieberman quotes, people engage in this irrational cycle of chronic procrastination because of an inability to manage negative moods around a task, comma, Lieberman, period. All right. Problems with this. One, she doesn't quote herself. She does not quote herself. She writes. Okay. We do not have a comma at the end of the quote unless you have something that follows after it. And then we have the author's name, Charlotte Lieberman. Therefore, we don't need this. We don't have Lieberman at the end of it. That is incorrect. It's mentioned here, so we don't need it here. So we get rid of that. Okay. So that would have been 2 errors right there. 2 errors, 10 points off. Okay. Paper already failed because the spacing was wrong. Well, let's say the spacing wasn't wrong. That's 2 errors right there. Okay. Okay. Seth Gilliam from Psychology Today uses the example of cleaning the kitchen to explain this. He explains how every time he sees or thinks of his dirty kitchen, he'll be, quote, likely to weigh blah, 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 blah. Okay. Don't need this comma. That's an error. But this we do need. That's good. Look, Seth is mentioned in this sentence. Now we have a new sentence that leads into his quote. Therefore, we need to have his name again down here because it's a new sentence. That is good. That is good. Again, Lieberman quotes that this cycle is possible because no. Lieberman argues, says, states, we don't quote ourselves. And then again here, we don't need Lieberman here. That's another error. And we don't need that comma. In fact, we need a period. That right there is a problem. This comma right here Commas go inside of quotation marks. Our brains have trouble comprehending the future. When we make things a future me problem, our brain interprets this as not a problem for us. That's a grammatical problem. Okay, now look at this one. Gillian mentions how you are now forcing yourself to experience this mood along with increased stress and anxiety, feelings of low self-esteem and self-blame. Comma, incorrect. Gillian mentioned here, incorrect. So even if we didn't have the formatting issues, you're already up to 6 errors. 6 errors. Okay. 2 more. And this paper, which was a B, this is like a B paper for essay 2, turns into a failing grade for essay 3. Okay. So we need to, oh, look, Morano in her article mentions how, blah, 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 blah. Great, great, great. Incorrect. Incorrect. Okay. So essay 2, cool, an 80. But essay 3, a 60. Okay. This paper, which is not a bad paper written wise. Okay. Like I'm not dogging anything that the person says. What they're saying is fine. Because guess what? In this class is not a rhetorical class. This class is not, we don't talk about arguments. I'm not grading you on your argument. I'm not grading you if you're logical. That's not my class. That is 3000 level courses. They grade you on, do you make sense? Is your argument believable? Do they like what you're saying? Okay. Like in psychology, your psychology courses, your history courses, all those, they care about what you actually are saying. This class don't care about what you're saying. I'm grading your formatting, your grammar, your the backbone of communication. Okay. No professor is going to take your argument seriously if you have formatting problems, citation problems. Okay. That's like the foundation. That's the base level. All right. So this paper, again, yeah, I mean, it's 4 pages. It's long. It has quotes. It's argued well. Okay. But there's errors. There's errors that's going to cause it to be a 60 rather than a 100. Okay, Kinsey. All right. So college, especially if you plan on transferring out of Gwinnett Tech and moving on to a 4-year institution, then you need to understand that colleges take essay formatting very seriously. Okay. I've already just, I think I mentioned it before. I was like talking to my wife. She majored in psychology. All right. And she talked about how she was going to fail papers simply because of there's 5 errors in formatting, in citing sources correctly. All right. There are people out there who are looking at how to cite sources for the wrong formatting. Okay. There are people who are doing things like this. They're putting Gillian, they're putting a comma, and then they're putting 2023 or 2018. They're putting a date. And that's because those people who are citing sources like this, they are not following MLA formatting. They're not listening to me. They're not watching my lectures. They're Googling, how do you cite a source? And they don't realize that they're reading articles on how to cite sources using a different type of citation. They might be looking at AP or APA instead of MLA. English, we teach MLA formatting, Modern Language Association. We do not use dates. Dates in the parentheses is for not BA, Bachelor of Arts classes. It's for BS classes, Bachelors of Science, where dates matter when it comes to research. If you're writing a paper about the link between clinical depression and AIDS, okay, research that you use will significantly differ from 1995 to 2020. So dates are important. But if you're writing a paper about your interpretation of your memoir and the research you're using, dates don't matter. Dates don't matter about that. Okay, it's not a science field. It's a Bachelor of Arts. This class is an English class. All right, so we put in our parenthetical citations. If it comes from a book, we put a page number. If there's no page number, then we just put a last name. Okay, so it should not look like this at all, ever. It should not be the person's name with a comma and then page numbers. No. Okay, it should not look like this and then at all. No. Okay, should never look like that. No. If you did that, that would be an error. It needs to be this. That's it. And if you mention the person's name in the sentence, then that shouldn't even be there. Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna stop there. I did a A paper and I did a B paper. Okay. And I'm showing you that even that B paper would have been a 60. It would have been a failing paper if it was turned in that way next week or in 2 weeks. Okay. So the essay 1 was the easiest. Essay 2 was slightly harder to get a good grade on. Okay. There were a lot of people who made higher grades on essay 1 than essay 2. And now we're going to essay 3, where it's the last paper. You got to show what you know. And hopefully you know enough to get a passing paper. And it's all about formatting. It's all about structure. All right. So send me your papers if you want some help. If you want me to use your paper, the first couple ones that are sent to me, I'll pick those first. Okay. First come, first serve. Make an appointment with the writing lab. Have them read over your paper, checking for formatting, citations, MLA formatting, all those things I put on the essay 3 descriptor. Okay. And when you are ready to submit your paper, submit it and be done. Okay. Take it easy. Have a great week. I will talk to you later.